What if the reason everything is collapsing at the same time isn't because you did something wrong, but because God is doing something right? You can handle one thing falling apart. Most people can. You lose a job, you recover. A relationship ends, you grieve and move forward. But when it all happens at once, the job, the relationship, the health, the finances, the peace, that's different. That doesn't feel like a season. That feels like a demolition. And the question that sits in the middle of all of it isn't just where is God? It's what did I do to deserve all of this at once? Here's what this video is going to show you. When everything falls apart simultaneously, it is rarely random and it is never punishment. It is almost always the specific signature of a God who is not destroying your life, but he is clearing the ground to rebuild it from a foundation that will actually hold. Stay with me until point 5, because that's the one that will show you exactly what God is constructing right now in the middle of what looks like pure destruction. Point 1. Simultaneous collapse is a pattern in Scripture, not an exception. The first thing you need to understand is that what you're going through is not unprecedented. It is not evidence that your situation is uniquely hopeless. Simultaneous collapse, everything at once, is actually one of the most consistent patterns in Scripture before a major move of God. Job loses everything in a single day, not over time, not gradually, one day. His children, his wealth, his health, his standing. Job 1:13-19 records messenger after messenger arriving to tell him of another loss before the previous one has even been processed. And Job 2:7 adds that his body is then covered in sores from head to foot, everything at once. And yet Job 42 ends with God restoring double what Job had before. The simultaneous collapse was not the end of the story. It was the turning point. Jeremiah watched the temple destroyed, the city of Jerusalem, the center of Jewish identity, the dwelling place of God, reduced to rubble. Lamentations 3:1-3 records his response. I am the man who has seen affliction by the rod of the Lord's wrath. He has driven me away and made me walk in darkness rather than light. Indeed, he has turned his hand against me again and again, all day long, everything gone, all at once. And yet, Jeremiah 29:11, written in the middle of that same exile, carries the promise of a future and a hope. God was not absent in the demolition. He was present in it. What this means for you right now, stop reading the simultaneity as a sign of divine punishment. The fact that everything is falling at once is not evidence that God is against you. In Scripture, it is often evidence that God is moving and that the scale of what he's about to do requires clearing more than one thing at a time. Point 2, God never demolishes what he doesn't intend to rebuild. Here's the truth that changes everything about how you experience this season. God is not a God of pointless destruction. Everything he takes apart, he intends to put back together in a different order, on a better foundation, for a purpose larger than the version you were building yourself. Isaiah 43:18-19 says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. A way in the wilderness, streams in the wasteland. God doesn't make ways in places that are already comfortable and intact. He makes ways in wilderness. He brings water to wasteland. The destruction is the prerequisite for the new thing, not the obstacle to it. Ezekiel 36:26 adds, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and replace it with a heart of flesh. Remove and replace. God doesn't renovate around what's already there. He removes first. And the removing, the loss, the collapse is part of the replacement, not separate from it. Think about what happens when a building is condemned. The demolition crew doesn't arrive because the building is fine. They arrive because what stands is no longer safe to live in. And the demolition, loud, violent, total, is not the tragedy. It is the beginning of something the old structure could never have become. God has not condemned your life. He has condemned what was built on the wrong foundation. And what he builds next will not need to be condemned. What this means for you right now, look at what is falling and ask not just what you are losing, but what those things were built on. Because God rarely demolishes what was built on him. He demolishes what was built on security, on approval, on self-sufficiency, on anything other than him. And he does it because he loves you too much to let you keep living in a structure that cannot hold. Point 3, the pain of simultaneous loss is not a sign of God's distance. It is the cost of total transformation. This is the point nobody wants to hear, because we want God to be close and for things to be okay at the same time. But sometimes God is closest in the seasons that feel the most devastating, not despite the devastation through it. 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 says, we are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. Every side, not one side. every side. Paul is not describing a minor difficulty, he is describing the experience of everything pressing in at once. And his conclusion is not that God is absent, it is that in the middle of everything pressing in, there is something that does not break, something that holds, and that something is the presence of God at the center of the collapse. Psalm 46, 1-2 says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. Though the earth give way, though the mountains fall, not if things get slightly difficult, though everything you thought was permanent moves, God is the ever-present help in that moment, not after it, not on the other side of it, in it. Physically, right now, put your hand on your chest, feel your heartbeat, and say out loud, God, I don't understand what you're doing, but I trust that you are here in this. Show me what you're building. That prayer doesn't require you to feel okay. It requires you to stay in conversation with God while you don't. If this is speaking to something real in you right now, pause and comment, He's rebuilding me below. I read every single one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because every week on this channel, we come back to this space. Just you and God, no performance, no pretending, just truth. What this means for you right now, the pain you're feeling, is not evidence of God's absence. It is the cost of total transformation. And total transformation, the kind that changes, not just your circumstances, but who you are, has never been painless in Scripture. Not once. But it has always been worth it. Point 4. What falls apart in this season was never meant to be permanent. Here is the uncomfortable question underneath all of this. What if some of what is falling apart was already supposed to go, and you've been holding it together through sheer force of will, delaying the inevitable because letting go felt like failure? Now, Hebrews 12, 26-27 says, At that time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, Once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. The words once more indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. God shakes what can be shaken so that what cannot be shaken becomes visible. The shaking is not random, it is targeted. It removes precisely what was never meant to last, so that what remains is what God always intended to be the foundation. Think about a tree in a storm. The branches that were already weak, already dead, already disconnected from the life of the tree, those are the ones the storm takes. The storm looks violent and indiscriminate from the outside, but it is actually selective. It removes what the tree no longer needs. And after the storm, the tree that remains is leaner, stronger, more able to bear weight than before. The storm didn't weaken it. It revealed its true strength by removing what was masking it. What this means for you right now, look at what has fallen and ask honestly, was this something God built or something I built to feel secure? Because God is faithful to protect what He authored. What is falling may be falling because it was never His to sustain in the first place. And its falling is not your failure. It is His faithfulness removing what was keeping you from what He actually has for you. Point 5. The reconstruction has already started. You just can't see it yet. Here's the final thing. In the middle of demolition, it is impossible to see the blueprint. When walls are coming down and the floor is gone and everything you oriented yourself by has shifted, you cannot see what is being built. But that does not mean nothing is being built. Romans 8:28 says, And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. All things, not some things, not the comfortable things, all things, including the simultaneous collapse, including the losses that came all at once, including the season that makes no sense from the inside. God is working in all of it, not around it, not despite it, in it, actively, purposefully, with a specific outcome in mind. Jeremiah 18:3-4. God sends Jeremiah to watch a potter. The potter is working with clay. The vessel is marred, it doesn't form correctly, and the potter doesn't throw the clay away. He doesn't start over with new clay. He takes the same clay, collapses the form, and reshapes it into something better. The collapsing of the form is not the end of the vessel. It is the moment the potter gets to work. You are the clay, God is the potter. And the simultaneous collapse you are living through right now is not God giving up on the vessel. It is God collapsing the form so He can make something the original shape was never going to become. What this means for you right now, stop waiting to feel okay before you trust that God is working. The reconstruction does not announce itself, it happens quietly in the middle of the demolition before you can see it. Your job right now is not to understand the blueprint, it is to stay in the hands of the potter while he works. Here is what I want you to carry out of this video. God does not demolish what he does not intend to rebuild. He does not allow simultaneous collapse without simultaneous construction. Even when the construction is invisible from where you're standing, everything falling apart at once is not evidence that your life is over. It is evidence that God is doing something large enough to require clearing more than one thing at a time. He is not punishing you. He is rebuilding you. And what he builds on cleared ground, on a foundation that actually holds on the other side of a demolition, this complete, that is something the original structure could never have become. Stay in his hands. The blueprint already exists, and it is better than anything you lost. If this spoke to something real in you today, comment "He's rebuilding me" below. I read every single one. And subscribe to this channel if you want to keep coming back to this space where we don't perform faith, we practice it, just you and God, every week.